Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. We're here today with our Motivation and Mindset Monday on a new week of the Cabral concept. So glad to have you here with me. Really excited to get into this week's topic, which was inspired by this Thursday's upcoming guest, John Assaraf. We had a great interview together, and one of the topics that I wanted to talk about with him was actually overcoming this inner Frankenstein as he talks about it. What I want to do is share with you my perspective. We go much more in depth on Thursday, but not on this exact topic. So I knew that this is something that I wanted to make sure that I brought to you, because oftentimes the single biggest reason that we don't achieve the life that we want and the goals that we set is ourselves holding ourselves back. We like to believe that it's family members, community members, coworkers, our boss, our health, our doctors, the economy, politics, you name it, right? And there's no doubt about it. There are those factors in life. There are also, I don't want to say that those don't exist. They exist, right? They exist. What exists is the way that we were brought up as children, right? Good or bad, right? What happens when we go into the workforce, all the different things, right? Those all matter. However, in this present moment, we are deciding and choosing to relive that past or to move forward to a much more exciting future. What we need to do is overcome this inner Frankenstein. So basically what John Assaraf says is we need to activate our inner Einstein and overcome our inner Frankenstein. That Frankenstein is what's holding us back from our best life. Because here's what happens. Let's say that you want to get promoted within your company. All of a sudden, when you think about getting promoted, you think about, oh, there's going to be so much work to do, though, or that you don't have what it takes, or that your coworkers are more qualified, or that your boss doesn't recognize you, or it's going to take years. Like, you always go to all of the negatives. We're going to help you switch that in a moment, right? Or if your goal is to lose weight and transform your body, immediately your mind goes to, I've already tried every diet. I've already tried exercising. I already tried hiring a personal trainer. I already tried doing the wellness-based programs, right? Or I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look like this. I don't want to look like that, right? You get all in your head. What about getting well? Well, I've already seen a functional medicine doctor. I've already seen a naturopath. I've already seen health coaches. I've spent money on these labs. I did this, I did that, I did the other thing. Nothing ever works for me. It works for a little while, but then I'm always end up right back where I was. Same with relationships. I always think that I find that perfect person, and then I find out this about them or that about them, and it never seems to work. Spirituality. All of a sudden, I think that I'm on the right path. I feel good about myself, my place in the world and universe, my connection with God. And then all of a sudden, no, this happens, and this happens. And why would this happen? Right? You start to question things. We all have varying degrees of that in our life. There's a difference, though, between those people that are successful and those people that stay complacent and end up moving backwards. Because one of the concepts that we explored, and I completely agree with, is that there's really no staying stationary in life. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but being in a company is a good example. If you keep doing what you've always done to get there, you're going to stay in the same spot and move backwards, right? So basically, there are going to be people that are hired maybe after you that move up in the company faster. Why? They never stopped growing. They took it on themselves outside of their regular 40 hours to learn more, to read more, to do more, to take on more, to ask for more, right? Same for our own health, right? As we get older, exercise is actually more important. Eating right is actually more important because we can't get away with as much with our body as we begin to age. So all of these things are vitally important. Remember, we cannot stay complacent. So the people that are most successful are trying to already play ahead. They are thinking ahead. But even with them, negative thoughts are going to creep up. We call that our inner Frankenstein. So what do we do? Here's a great exercise from a book, Inner Size, that I'll be talking about on Thursday with my interview with John Assaraf, as well as on the Friday review. But inside of the book, it's basically entitled like flip-flop. And this is all that it is, though, okay? It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Here's what I want you to do. Remember, on these Mindset and Motivation Mondays, they're not just about motivation. They're about taking action on something, moving forward. So I want you to choose one goal, not 5, not 10, just one, okay? Let's achieve one that you really want. And then you'll realize, listen, if you can do this one, you can do the next. And if you can do the next, you can do anything you want in this life. You truly can. Will it take some time? Yes, it will take some time. Is it going to be worth it? 100%. Because you want what's on the other side of that success. That's what we're working towards, right? And it might not be just for you. It could be for your family. Could be for your grandkids, could be for your parents, could be for anybody, your community, your church, right? It doesn't have to just be about you. Any goals that I set for myself, I actually can't think of too many goals that I set for myself that is just about me. Even when I'm trying to get in better shape, work on my health, all these things to take it to that next level, I'm healthy, right? I try to keep myself in shape, but I try to take it to that next level. Why? Well, my goal, yes, I want to be in shape. I want to be healthy. There's no doubt about it. But I want energy to be able to do this podcast, to be able to lead my team, to also have lots of energy for my 2 daughters. You know, when we're hanging, we're playing together, all those fun things. I want to be able to have that. Plus, I hopefully want to be able to live a nice, long life so that I can see maybe my grandkids one day, right? That's what it's all about. So I'm playing for bigger reasons, and that's why your why has to oftentimes look outside of you. You need to draw from other resources and thoughts and beliefs when the going gets tough. But this is also a great exercise that when you set a goal for yourself for something that you've never done before, and it's going to require a little effort, like most great goals do, they're going to require something new from you. You want to write down all of the negative thoughts that pop in your head. Usually we fight them. The problem is we can't fight these. They're a part of us, right? We just give them a little bit more power. It's part of our subconscious. It's part of our neural network inside of our subconscious mind and nervous system. So here's what we want to do. Since my field is health-based, I want to take this from a health perspective. In John's book, he takes it from a financial perspective. Let's look at it like this. So you are someone that wants to get rid of your autoimmune issue. Okay. So you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to overcome, now insert your whatever your disease is, right? I'm just saying autoimmune today. So you want to overcome, let's just say Hashimoto's. Okay. You want to overcome your Hashimoto's. Immediately what might pop in your head is, I've already tried every diet before for Hashimoto's. Okay, so that's 1. Write it down. I've already tried lab testing before for Hashimoto's. That's 2. Okay. I've already worked with health coaches or doctors before for Hashimoto's. That's 3. I've already done exercise routines for Hashimoto's. I've already done a detox for Hashimoto's. That's 5. Let's stick with those 5, right? There's probably more. Write them down. That's your job, right? That's the inner Frankenstein. All of the automatic negative thoughts. John Assaraf calls those ants. It's a nice, easy one to remember. Whenever you think of a goal, whenever you think of something you want to achieve, all of a sudden the crabs in the bucket come in. Except those crabs in the bucket are our own thoughts, our own limiting beliefs. So what do? Let's acknowledge them. Thank you for giving me this safety, security-based lesson. This is your life just saying, you don't need to try that. You're only going to get hurt. Right? You've already tried it before. It's been unsuccessful. You're just going to fail again. You're going to waste time. You're going to waste money. You're going to embarrass yourself in front of others trying this again. Okay. Thank you. Got it. Let's add those to the 5, right? But now that's 1 sheet of paper, or draw it in half, put those on the left. Again, if you're driving in your car, please re-listen to this later. Write down all those limiting thoughts, right? Those automatic negative thoughts for whatever your goal are, put them on the left side. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth or out through your nose, and extend that breath and relax. Try to do 6 of those. That's it. Breathe in for 5, out for 7. Okay. Now, we don't discount the negative thoughts on the left. It's your subconscious telling you all these different things. But now on the right side, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, but what if, right? But what if? What could you do? What could you do differently? What else could you try? Okay. So I've tried every Hashimoto's diet in the world. Okay. Have you? What are you going to do? Well, let me look at this from a different perspective. Let me see if there's something out there for autoimmune issues in general that I might be able to try. For example, you don't need a Hashimoto's diet. What you most likely need is some type of CBO-based protocol, right? Something for the gut, right? That's most likely what you need because there's no Hashimoto's diet. You're probably going to want to remove gluten and dairy, but I wouldn't call that a Hashimoto's diet. I would call it an autoimmune diet, right? So we can start to look at something more for healing the gut. You might say you've tried every lab in the world. Well, most likely people have tried running labs through their medical doctor, and it's blood work alone. But you haven't looked at urine. You haven't looked at blood spots specifically. You haven't looked at saliva. You haven't looked at hair. All of these things matter. You may not look at stool. Why? Those matter, right? How are you going to test digestive function with blood test? You're really not. You need to run something like the Candida metabolic and vitamins test or the bacteria and parasite stool test. You need to run those, or a food sensitivity test. You're not going to get those through your doctor. You're just not. They're not going to cover them by health insurance. So that means you're paying out of pocket. And if you're paying out of pocket, like we just did for my daughter for her annual blood work, it was $800, which is absurd. Now, she had to go to her pediatrician anyways, but the pediatrician, we asked her, listen, I want these labs run. If you're drawing blood, we want these labs run. So she said, okay, we'll run them. But it cost us that amount of money, which was absurd, right? Because I could have run those a lot on my own. What you want to do is you want to say, oh, there are other labs that I could run that wouldn't look at just Hashimoto's and autoimmune response, but actually an underlying root cause, such as intestinal permeability, candida overgrowth, SIBO, parasites, heavy metals, electrolyte imbalances, right? You can look at all sorts of different things, cortisol levels. So you want to look at that. Now, the next one would be, maybe you saw every doctor in the world. Okay, you might have seen every medical doctor in the world. Everybody should have a medical doctor, but have you actually met with a integrative health practitioner, right? Someone that could also specialize in the underlying root causes. Maybe, maybe not. Exercise. Okay. A lot of people exercise. Believe it or not, for autoimmune, there's specific types of exercise. Because if you overdo it, you stimulate more of that Th1 part of the immune system, which only makes your autoimmune issues worse. So have you tried something like a graduated exercise protocol like we teach inside of IHP? I don't know, right? But it's a question that you write for yourself, right? And if you don't know, just say, maybe there's another type of exercise program beyond what I already did. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to research that, right? And then, okay, I've done a detox, but you look at your detox and you say, well, what exactly was it? Oh, well, it was a specific type of cleanse. It actually wasn't a liver-based functional medicine detox. It wasn't this, that, or the other thing. But you could just say, let me look into other types because of what's been successful for other people. So really what it comes down to is this. You have to be willing to say to that inner Frankenstein, activating your inner Einstein. The inner Einstein says, other people have overcome Hashimoto's. You can too. You just haven't found the diet, the lab, the protocols, the practitioner, the exercise, the stress reduction, right? The de-stress protocol. You haven't found those types for you. But with the right coaching, research, listening to podcasts, reading articles, reading books, would you be able to find the other answers? And the answer is probably yes. How can you mimic another person's successful blueprint? That's really what it comes down to. So this podcast hopefully will have two takeaways. One, you must acknowledge the part of the subconscious mind that's telling you, I can't, this is why, right? Write down the reasons why you can't do it. They're there anyways. You're not fooling anybody by trying to suppress them. Write them down. Now, if you want to ultimately be successful and maintain those results for life, you're going to have to come up with answers to those anyways. So don't be afraid of them, right? Because that's part of it. It's our fears like, oh, we don't want to listen to those voices. There might be some truth to those. Yes, there's truth to them in this moment. That's why they're there. Let's write them down. Give them their voice. Now, your body probably feels relieved. Listen, you're listening to me. But now here's what we can do. We can overcome all of their objections with actual verified reality of how people have already been able to get well before, or get the promotion, or find the right relationship for them, or the spirituality, or career, or whatever it might be. You're able to do that. But first, know what's holding you back. Once you know the obstacles, which are basically between your two ears, right? Once you know those obstacles, you're then better able to overcome them. when you're able to first voice overcome them, meaning like give them your voice and just say, listen, you're heard, but here's what we're going to do next. The defenses aren't going to be as great. When the defenses aren't as great, your body's going to then more naturally have the energy to want to take action because it's going to understand that this time is different. It is. You've heard the objections. You're not going to repeat your mistakes of the past, but you're going to activate that inner Einstein. You're going to look and seek out all of the answers to these questions that your subconscious has rightly brought to you. I have no doubt you'll be able to do that. The internet, this world is full of information. Of course, if I can ever help in any way, please always reach out, let me know. And of course, if this podcast today was helpful, please do tune in for this Thursday's show as well with John Assaraf himself, but also do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care.